We are live. So, you might notice that it's an incredibly early stream, for me at least. It's 10 a.m. here. It's because my 5D Chess League Week 4 opponent is in the China time zone, which is 13 hours ahead. So, I don't know if that's where they are, but that's the time zone. So this was the only time we could do it. It's 11 p.m. his time, 10 a.m. my time. So I just finished breakfast, just waking up. Something about doing this first thing in the morning in such a weird time zone or time slot for me. Actually making me a little nervous. Giving me a little bit of tournament nerves. My hair's out of control. Usually is in the morning. So let me just do some of this. Opponent asked if I'm making the game. Yep. Let's make the game. Versus custom match, random color medium timer. And our game mode will of course be turn 0 per usual. Let's create this match and let's copy and paste this to our opponent. GLHF. Very exciting. Okay. Very exciting. Week 4. I definitely have to win this game to stay in the running, to be promoted out of the group. Remember to moon first and sink later, says Andre. How's it going, Andre? Good advice. Especially in the morning. I think I need reminding of that, probably. Let's see what happens. My monitor looks a little weird. I'm sure, it's just my monitor, so you guys won't see anything different on stream, but... Oh, okay. So this is the... C4 opening, knight f3 c4. I haven't really seen this, actually. I think that we just play probably normal developing moves. Nothing too crazy. I'm tempted to just play this here, but I feel like that's going to be a problem because if we take, we don't have time to block the diagonal before we're just going to respond with c5. It just seems the safest given that I don't have much experience and I don't want to waste much time. It's early in the morning, so I don't necessarily trust myself, to do the mental gymnastics sort of on the spot. That's certainly a knight move. Let's do just normal developing. What I don't want is for him to jump in either here or here. But I think I want to do this to block this diagonal so I can push this pawn at some point to let this guy out. I also like this as a candidate move, but we'll just do this. This guy jumping in here or here, doesn't concern me a whole lot. Although it does sort of kick this knight off of this square, which is maybe actually annoying. Okay, so that's not what happened. So he pushed that. I think I might want to push this instead. Yeah. Let's introduce some asymmetry to the position. This is somewhat unfamiliar territory for me. This is a shape that I haven't dealt with too much, but I don't feel too bad about it. We're probably going to Frappuccino this bishop. Just clear line of sight, you know, because we don't have a lot mucking up the center of the board here, so this bishop is going to actually do a lot of work. I feel pretty good about that. Oh. Interesting. Okay. So I actually want to Frappuccino the same bishop. So let's do some of that. I'm pretty cool with that. Probably want to push this pawn next to prevent this guy from jumping in like this. We're doing good on time. Good time management. Sarp just came back home from school. Cool. How's it going, man? It's super early for us. I just woke up and had breakfast, basically. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's Frappuccino here. New system for me. Okay, so clearly jumping in here is our opponent's prerogative. I'm not sure that I mind too much. Do I want to push this? I don't really know. I think I want to grab space. I want to develop my pieces. Let's do one of these. I mean, if this happens, well, I don't know. Maybe there's no reason to allow that to happen. Maybe we do one of these. If this is here, I mean, it kind of ties our queen down. What we could also do is this, which opens the floor for some sacking here, which is a bit of an issue. Probably we just want to do this and then let him do this if he really wants. Push here, we recapture, or we capture, I guess. And then we've got a knight outpost here, actually, so he's got to be a little bit careful here, I think. I just want to prevent this from ever becoming a thing, or this, because if this is a thing, you know, then basically this bishop is burdened with defending g7 like the whole game, and that's not good, because then we sort of play a piece down. Otherwise we're in danger of getting time traveled on. I feel kind of mentally stiff. Okay, so I mean, that's what we expected. We can really just push here, right? I like the push here. Seems good to me. Basically, our opponent loses a tempo. Where does this knight go? It's got to go back, right? Yeah. Okay. We feel pretty good about that. Now, I think we want to activate this bishop and start sort of fucking shit up. Actually, though, this isn't that tempting. Well, it is tempting because it opens up the eyes of our bishop here, and if we can sack here, then that feels pretty good for us. Maybe one of these happens. There are multiple ways that we can play this. There are multiple ways that we can play this. Let's do one of these for now. Also prevents this pawn push, which can be annoying in the future. I've certainly been annoyed by that in the past. It's very slow, very cautious play from our opponent, which doesn't leave too many openings, for us to sort of exploit. I'm really liking this sack here. Okay, so this is about what we expect in this situation. Might even move this rook probably to here, actually. This knight defends this guy, so it's okay. But yeah, I don't know. One of these is probably going to happen. Yeah, just so that we're never in a position where this bishop is undefended and then something weird happens. Like if this happens, well, it can't really because this guy's undefended. We have to find a way to kick this knight. Right, the kicking this knight holds the key. Our king safety is definitely something that we always have to be aware of. But I don't know, G5 is looking pretty juicy. G5, G6. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to think that G5, G6 looks really appealing right now? Oh, baby. Even more appealing, question mark? Now we do this? Prediction started. Annoyed in the past in a time travel game. Exactly. That is exactly the idea. What does this bishop move actually do? I think he's just trying to grab space. Yeah, it's not like he's threatening anything. Queen covers the knight. There won't be time travel shenanigans. Shouldn't be, at least. Yeah, the one thing that we do always have to be a little bit careful about when we do this with our rook is the back rank potential. Always got to be careful about the back rank potential. So this queen is basically on back rank duty for the time being. How's it going, Alex? A prediction's been started, which means that either Tutor or Lexi is in chat. Probably Tutor, because I don't think Lexi starts predictions. So welcome, Tutor. Our opponent's in a bit of a... he's kind of on the back foot. This next pawn push, I think, is going to be really annoying for him, because he doesn't have a way to drop back the knight. He doesn't have a way to drop back the knight. And defend this. Okay, well, that's certainly an option. That's fair. Now, if he trades here, then I'm no longer worried about this back rank. So the fact that this queen is defending this knight is okay with me. I think I just want to go ahead and do this. Now that's taken away a flight square, actually, for this knight. So I feel pretty good about this. Now he's got to drop back here or here and lose this, or just lose this. I'm feeling all right about this. I'm feeling all right about this. Oh, it's funny because in this position I was thinking, oh, he can't go here next turn because it's covered. But of course, I moved my pawn, so it's no longer covered. That's how the game works. Okay, these things happen. We're warming up. Question is now, if we make this trade happen, I think it's probably better. Well, now f7 is open, so I really don't mind. This is actually kind of a danger. I think I want to push his. I think I want to push his knight back to where it came from. Man, I do that so often. It's so silly. Yeah, I think I want to do this threaten mate so he has to get his knight back. Well, could also just do one of these. Well, if takes, I mean, I definitely have to recapture, so it's not like I'm gaining ground. I do want this file to continue to be unoccupied. So actually, I like where we're headed here. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And now I think that I want to do I want to kick the bishop really badly, actually, so that I can maybe get a queen here and wreak some havoc. This asks questions of this bishop that it definitely has to answer. If it goes here, does that actually block the time travel? I don't think so. Here, 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 and then our next turn it'll be here. So we'll move the knight out of the way. Yeah, I hope it's actually not that I haven't like blocked my own I hope I haven't blocked my own like opportunities to sack here. What is this bishop doing? I don't know. It's kind of a slow, kind of a weird game. Yeah, let's just do this. That's our intuition. We follow our intuition. This knight is covering our back rank, so I don't have to worry about back rank duty here. Although at some point it may be beneficial to bring this rook back down, since he doesn't have a light square bishop. This is such a slow game. Yeah, I like that we're both uncovering this and kicking this bishop at the same time. Actually, yeah, this bishop probably has to go back here, which means that we sort of reopen this up. It is a little annoying that this bishop is here now, because I think if we go queen here, okay, it just defends the queen, or it defends with the queen. So if we do this now, then next turn will be here, and the next turn will be here, so we actually miss the window, which is kind of frustrating. But that's just how it goes. How can we put more pressure on this bishop? I mean, we can always push this pawn, but you know, it's pretty spooky. It's pretty spooky for us. I think we'll probably do it anyway. Because how does he punish this, basically? This does mean that we get juiciest fork potential. But I don't want to take this knight off of defending here duty. But our queen is here right now, so it's okay. We can do one of these, which is super passive, or we can do one of these, which is a little bit more chat. Do I even feel that like good about that though? I don't know. finding it particularly difficult to moon first and sink later in this position. But I probably actually want to block this time travel for him. Now what if this happens? Then takes here. What if this happens? Then takes here. I'm not super worried about it. Okay, we have to be a little bit careful. We are kind of overextending. I think that this rook wants to go back here. Wants to move back. It's such a slow game. Let's see. Hi, great, thanks. What about you? I'm supposed to study. Tutor secretly, Lexi. Man, everyone believes in Semet. It's no fun. He's doing well, I guess. When a pawn moves, it's no longer the square it used to be in. I know, just crazy. It's the little things, you know, that we really got to get used to in 5D chess that are just so innovative, you know, so counterintuitive. Who's his opponent? My opponent is WY. That's their username. Hello, is this delayed? No, it's not. It's not delayed. Someone, perfect. Lexi banned a bot. Thank you so much, Lexi. We have such faithful mods. How do we put pressure here without... I think that I want to free up this knight for sure, so we're going to do this. We're going to do this. You add bots, yeah. Lexi's fast. Fastest, you know, ban finger in the West. Wow, there are 2 of them in a row? That's crazy. Ban first, think later. That's good. Let's see here. This move kicks our queen. It definitely does kick our queen. I think that we want to do this as a result. Now we have to be careful. Now you have to be careful. What do we do here? Where's this knight going? Here, covered, here, covered, here, covered. Doubly. I think this is fine. I think there's not a lot to think about here. Maybe a little bit of this is good as well. I mean, it leaves it gives us this like weakness here, which I don't really enjoy. There's an issue that this is like double covered by his pieces and single covered by my pieces. So I'm not super happy about that. So if he goes here, he's got Fork City, but you know, obviously we have this. So what we have to really be careful about is if he puts his bishop here, that we can no longer really take advantage of this. I think I probably want to trade here. I think I really want to trade here like as soon as possible. Yeah, we have to be careful. Oh. He's gaining ground. Is our queen trapped here? Could be. It's not quite, but this does uncover a lot of squares that we really want to be covered. So we're a little bit on the back foot. Actually, what squares does it uncover? More importantly, how do we take advantage of this? We always have Jurassic Queen from this point, by the way. All the way to turn 0. But, I mean, that's kind of the nuclear option. What are we doing here? His pieces are well coordinated. We can't really... Where's this knight going? Here, here. This knight's going here, covered, here, covered. I think probably we just drop it back as opposed to Jurassic Queening, right? I don't think that we're in a position where we need to Jurassic Queen. Man, our king is so open, and we don't have enough of like a tempo advantage to make that worth. Maybe push this pawn should have happened like a while ago. This also, you know, opens up this time travel. It's a bit of an issue, man. It's a bit of an issue. But this is the position we're in. Yeah, let's just drop the queen back. Let's just drop the queen back. Game looks really interesting. Yeah. Is this turn 0? Yeah. It's the league, so all turn 0. White has this time on the clock, yeah. Wow, another bot. Holy shit. I'll be honest, I'm trying to ban and it scrolls up, so I click the link. So that's famous already. Stupid bots. Thanks, Andre. Hope I didn't get anything from those links. I'm sure you'll find. As long as you didn't download any executables. Maybe you got 1 million followers. They just follow you IRL. It's because Smet's making White's life really easy. It's true. I've done a very bad job of... Oh, okay. Oh, he took a queen. Took a queen 1 turn in the past. After it moved, that is. Question is, how do we take advantage of this? Well, one question is, to what extent are we actually concerned here? I mean, taking here is definitely a bit of a risk. I mean, needless to say. This bishop is also trapped, so we don't really have to. What's a way that we can maybe prime ourselves to do some sneaky business up here? I'm a bit afraid. But we do have timeline advantage. Do we maybe want to take here? Then it frees up this square for our opponent. Taking here, and then if he like delivers a check, then we can't cover this in time. So maybe we do this, which covers like right in front of our king. And then next turn we can capture this bishop because it can't go anywhere. Oh, it can go here. This is undefended. Has this always been undefended? Oh, the queen used to defend it. Oh, yeah, it's undefended on this board too. That makes sense. That is how the game works. What to do? But then this undefends. Ah, we're in a bit of a pickle. Can we capture this from up there? Not the other way around, though. We could always do this, but then that blocks our defense of this square, which is a problem. Man. Okay. We probably can't take here. Maybe we can. Maybe I'm overreacting. We're in a pickle. Don't really want to give him like a free. I mean, this feels pretty not good. Maybe we actually do one of these. Oh. What is life? I do notice that we're running out of time. But, you know, there's not much point in worrying about time if you're going to lose. Maybe we just take this now, push this pawn. Oh, this pawn is defended by this queen right now. So I think this is probably our best bet. Okay, I have to go into the think tank. I might not do much talking here, but I have to find a way to get myself out of the situation I've put myself in. Jurassic Queen doesn't look so bad now. Okay, that's what I thought would happen. Sensible. Okay. We are now down a queen, but we have timeline priority. To what extent does that matter? Ooh. Oh, I'm off. No buts. Okay, if we go here, the next turn we go here. Right here. 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 It's covered by too much shit. Yeah, it's like one too many. Oh, but can we maybe time travel from there? Probably not, right? I think I need to travel just so that I get extra time. Probably. Let's set up a travel. Or do I want to... Actually, let me do one of these. I'm all over the board this game. And not literally, just figuratively, in the way that is bad for me. Good Jurassic Queen from where my knight is. And then I'll have a second Jurassic Queen as well. Sort of reset the game, give myself more of a more delay to work with. He has a check that he can give, which is a little frustrating. Man. I'm playing Y. WY. The longer they sink, the worse they moon. That's funny. There's no much worrying about position if you're going to lose on time either. Although I noticed that being low on time activates super cement mode. I think Cement's rather good at handling multiple timelines. It's when his hair turns blonde, instant elo raise. I wouldn't know. Wish we had a chat here that Cement wouldn't see. I have some thoughts about this game. I have some thoughts about my and Cement's playstyle that I want to but should not share. There's always after the game for analysis. Time for opponent to blunder queen. I mean, fingers crossed. So far, so good. Lol 228 is a bit of an old Russian meme number. Oh, I wasn't aware. I mean, if he like checks me or something here, then that's pretty not great for me. But if he just plays like, I don't know, some developing move, something weird. Maybe he's scared of this fork. Maybe he'll like plays queen here. If we're lucky. Yeah, might just win back the queen if our opponent's not super careful. We'll see. He's taking a lot of time himself, my opponent. He actually did that. No cap? No, maybe there is cap. He took with the knight. I think we're going for the Jurassic Queen, fam. Okay. Well, that's fine too. I'm upset. We almost got it. Our opponent teased us. And he did it very well. Although now we just won his queen from upstairs, except we can't check on this board, so he can capture our knight here with his queen here. So that's lame. We've got Fork City, but no way to capitalize. Fork City, but the moving costs are too high. Let's maybe pin this knight and then prepare a queen time travel. Like this, Jurassic Queen. Yeah, why not? There is now a world in which we can do this, which wins his queen up here, and threaten something down here, which prevents his queen up there from doing anything. Also have to remember how the knights move across time, between timelines. Really hope that we get a Jurassic Queen and that we can reset. All I need him to do is not check me down here, which maybe doesn't seem like a supernatural play right now anyway. Or maybe it does seem like a supernatural play. Maybe I'll create a watch party channel on my Discord. That's not a bad idea. Rip Queen Blunder, yeah. Am I the only one who's lazy and doesn't have ideas about the game? These 4 knights, such makeshift coverage of key squares. Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, wow. We almost equalized on time. I really just hope that our opponent doesn't check me on the bottom board. So that we get the Jurassic Queen. Because we have 2... Oh, that's excellent. Because that means we're not checked down here. Actually, it means that we can Jurassic Queen here immediately. We don't even have to deal with this right now, right? Oh, I hope he spends a lot of time on this. Oh, okay, he didn't. All right. So I'm pretty sure that it's legal for us to do this turn. Yeah. Reset time. Okay, we have now given our opponent a timeline. The game resets. Whew. Okay. Let's try to make life slightly difficult for our opponent this game. Oh yeah, and let's not waste time. That's key. Definitely don't want that. Interesting. Wow, he went ahead and did that, huh? Okay. I'm gonna love pinning that knight, I think. And I also want to open up my queen here. We're probably gonna have to get this queen out like through here by these means. We have another Jurassic Queen, so you know, sort of worst case scenario here. Yeah, I think that we're gonna do one of these for sure. Like how our opponent was worried. They're like, oh no, like I don't want the game to go too late. And I was like, don't worry, you know. Okay, this happened. Honestly, this feels pretty decent for us. Okay. Now we try to crack this open. Probably queen move here happens. Maybe not. I think that we really need to threaten our queen going there. So how can we do that? We need to move this knight to do that. Okay, let's do one of these real quick. I think that this is the much better idea to get to here. I think maybe we have chances now. We have more time to think, which is definitely helpful. This game is a bit of a clown fiesta. He definitely wants to defend this. Okay, so that has happened. Now our opponent's queen is kind of stuck a little bit. Let's do one of these. and see what happens. I really want to get this queen in on the action as well. We also have Fork City coming up in a second. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. Okay. It's annoying that we're getting our queen off of the diagonal. But there is a really cheeky queen travel here. If we could just get over here. Now that this bishop is no longer... Actually, that's not a bad idea. If we can get our queen here, then we win soon. When does that have to happen? So I want to travel to here on this board, which means that we want to go here so that the turn afterward we can go to here on that board. Oh no, sorry. We want to go to, it doesn't quite work that way. Yeah, because if we go here on this board, yeah, it doesn't quite work that way. We need like one turn in between. Well, we can't give check. This doesn't work. Our opponent's super low on time. That's really good for us. Okay. I think that this is fine, maybe even great for us. Because now if we do this... hold on. If we do this, then we travel to... If we do this turn, then we travel to here on this board. Oh, which means that we're one turn off. Which sucks. Okay, so we have to do something distracting. We have to spook him. How do we do that exactly? Maybe if we do this, then he'll just do something else completely random. We can only hope. Because, I mean, quick win would be a real gift from the gods here. Let's do one of these. Maybe he doesn't see it. He gets freaked out because he only has 30 seconds left. Yeah, this queen goes here and then here. It doesn't go here on this board. So it is annoying that he threatened our queen there. So I also have to make sure we're not getting mated. That's actually fine. I really hope he does that. Okay, so now we just have to prevent him from delivering check. There are ways that we can do this. Well, I don't know if he'll know to deliver check necessarily. So let's do one of these and hope that our opponent doesn't realize that we have mate next turn. Mate. Okay, we won the game. I wouldn't call it textbook, but it is a win. We were in a sticky situation of our own making. And we managed to climb our way out. Okay. Very cool. GG. Mate right here. So that's pretty good. Okay. Cool. Wow. I'm a little that game shook me a little bit because, I mean, I wasn't really playing like myself, and I got into trouble. I got myself out, but now I kind of got the adrenaline pumping. I think I really wasn't thinking clearly. But it was our black game, so uh, there should be a little bit less pressure in theory on us next game when we're white. Um, Rated Elo bot. Oh yeah, I forgot this was rated even. Rep W at Y. There we go. Okay, so I regret rushing that last move. GG. I was terrified. Catching back up. Whew. Let's read chat. Wow, there's a lot that I missed. I'm mostly saying that I think much less than when I play myself. That I think much less than when I play myself. Oh, that yeah. When you're watching people, yeah. I'm basically I'm the same way. So I'm not learning from me. This looks like defended pawn plus now. No. Anyway, yeah. Alternative ways to cover f7. I was really glad that it was covering f7. And I mean, as I didn't have to think very much about, potential queen play for my opponent. I saw a way for white to win a queen by sacrificing a queen, but Cambrian queen, so it won't happen. I'm okay with that. Can a move legality depend on a state? Not sure what you mean. I mean, the thing there was that I wasn't pushing the present so that the knight was attacking my king on the bottom timeline. Like there was still a legal set of moves where, I could catch up and then just capture the other knight or whatever. So it's not an issue. Disappointed at the lack of e4 right here. I'll have to look back. Maybe e4 was the play. I mean, I was super nervous. So I tried to play it safe. I'll up a game later that may satisfy you. I'm excited. Or e5, I guess. Highly recommend. I think it's well worth the money. The game's definitely well worth the money. I may have one more key lying around. Not sure, though. That's exciting. Imagine if that pawn were on e5, the carnage. In your e5 tutor. Time for opponent to play e4 shows them out what being a Chad is about. I'm really impressed with time management this game. Well, thank you. I was pretty nervous about my time management. But I mean, I'll take that compliment straight to the bank, Andre. You think so? I think this isn't very good time management, replies tutor immediately. Yeah, okay. I think at this point you want to have 10 minutes. 15-second delay is a lot. It is. It really is. Well, at the end. Yeah, okay. At the very end, like after the Jurassic Queen, yeah, okay. Should spend most time on 0L always. Yeah, I agree. Alex25i just subscribed. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Aw, thanks so much, man. Cheers. I don't have custom emotes and sub badges yet, but as we speak, I'm currently working with an artist to get those things. So yeah, if you stay tuned and hang out, then hopefully, if not this stream on Saturday, then the stream next Saturday, those should be there. So exciting. If you have 3 timelines, lexi.exe stops working. Yeah, famously. Is it 5 seconds per timeline? Yeah, it is. 5 seconds delay per timeline. So you get 5 seconds per timeline for each turn before your time bank starts ticking down. Nice. GG. Raffle the mate before the queen arrived. Yeah. GG's. So my thoughts about this game are that the opponent threw by time traveling. You're probably right. Well, my thoughts about this game are that I threw by making it so easy for him to just develop all his pieces. Black was paralyzed and unable to entangle. White could have slowly developed everything. I think the time travel was decent. I think they could have won your other queen by forking you with a knight 2 turns in a row before you Jurassic Queen. Oh, possibly. I'll have to go back and check. I think there was tactical defense for the forks. I think there might have been. But you know what we should do is move right on ahead because it is best of 2. Or, it's a set of 2 games. And let's not keep our opponent waiting. It's super late where he is. It's basically midnight. Alex says, you're welcome. I like to support smaller streamers. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, it means a lot as, as a smaller streamer. You take what you can get. Every little bit becomes that much more special. All right, let's create game 2 where we are white. And let's try to get out of our own head. Ready when you are. Let's try to get out of our own head. Maybe we've woken up a little bit. Maybe we haven't. It's unclear. I think the first game was a bit of a warm-up. Okay, GLHF. We say to our opponent. Whew. Okay. Smet already calling it a best of 2. Well, I mean, but that's just the format. Come on, Tutor. There's no implication there. Like a best of 3 is just, a first to 2 wins. Like it's not a best of 3 in the tournament is what I'm saying. Like it is 2 matches because it's a league. It's not like elimination. So each week you play against one opponent, 1 game as white, 1 game as black. I'm not saying it's a best of 3 and we're going to sweep them 2-0. So you're a small streamer, how? Yeah, it's not a best of 3, guys. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully game's longer than 5 minutes. Want to become famous? Man. Tutor timed out Andre for 10 seconds. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get this started. We're going to play knight f3 and we're going to play d4. We're going to play d4 here. Knight f3 d4. We're not going to go with the c4 shenanigans. That was strange, unfamiliar territory. I was not comfortable with it. Question is now if our opponent plays c5. And he do. I think the move is this. I think that's probably the move. Yeah. Okay, and then push happens. That makes some amount of sense. Let's do one of these. I really haven't played very much against this. I don't have a lot of experience here. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. Okay. So here, I wonder what the best way forward is. This is interesting. I mean, it's going to be, this pawn is going to be really annoying to defend. I don't know if we push here. Or if we go knight out here. Pros and cons. How does he defend this here? We probably want to do this anyway. Let's just do this. Moon first, sink later. No reason to overcomplicate the situation here. We do have interesting ideas since the square is unblocked. We have a lot of interesting ideas. I mean, I'm immediately eyeing up, some move like g5 that gives us like a 1-turn window where, if he doesn't defend properly, which I don't even see how he would do. I guess like this maybe. But no, that's crazy. It just throws away the knight. To set up a similar win as last game where we have just like one board where we're attacking f7. He wants to defend this pawn. This seems somewhat scary. I don't know. d5 seems somewhat scary. For our opponent, that is. Oh. Free pawn, question mark. I guess he wants to get his bishop out. We're gonna not think about it too much. We're gonna take this, claim center control. Now he can push this all he wants. He goes here. I'll just bring this knight right back. I really don't mind, man. I really don't mind. I think this is scary for him. No? What exactly does this do? I mean, it attacks the bishop. But is that really such an achievement? Now we have an f7 sack. I don't know if it's a good one, but we do. Probably not a great one, to be honest. I guess he really wants to trade here. Let's think. What's going on here? Should we drop the bishop back? We can always do this. I have to push this. I mean, if we go here, then he's just going to recapture. But trading this, I actually really like trading this here. Maybe we can even do one of these. This seems good. Open up this file. It's an interesting move to be sure. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. Let's not get carried away here. Let's not think like a crazy amount. I'm okay with that. There's no longer anything here. Strange. I think he's got to maybe push this up here. No, what's going on? The more turns without a knight or anything over here, the better we feel about ourselves. I'm okay with letting this queen onto this side of the board. Should I not be? Maybe we push here instead to defend. Like this. Actually, I like that as well. Then we're not defending the knight. Well, we are with the queen, but, you know, maybe our king is a little open. Yeah, let's do this. Because if takes, then we have a board where we're attacking f7. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm missing something. I mean, yeah, our king side looks pretty, you know, bare bones, but I mean, at the same time, actually now we can do one of these like this. And if he doesn't do anything, we don't even need to worry about queen over here travel like this. We can just do this and then immediately, you know, travel back. Because here, well, it takes 2 turns, I guess, for us to actually do that. Okay. So he wants to do like a bishop situation, like this. All right. Probably push this pawn then. Don't worry about it too much. Really want to play this knight out here, man. This is calling my name, this knight. Easy clap. Now he needs to defend this square. If he doesn't, it's bad news. And if he does, how does he do that? Like this? Then we've got like check and then mate, like maybe not next turn, but like the turn afterward. Maybe he does this just to defend against this quadrigonal. Wait. Do we have mate this turn? We did. Chat, I missed mate in one. Chat, when he did this, it was like, okay, this is uncovered for the first turn. And then here it's uncovered. Oh no, it's our next move. Okay. We didn't miss mate in one because he uncovered it this move. And so, yeah, okay. He uncovered it this move. Okay. I need to calm down. I gotta calm down. Okay. Yeah. Because he uncovered it this move. Am I right about that? Yeah, so there's this on this board, this on this board. Yeah, no, it was mate. We missed mate in one, chat. Chat, we missed mate in one in a league game. Chat, I was so busy thinking about this time travel that I missed mate in one in the actual game that matters. But you know, sometimes you just miss mate in one for no good reason. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody, man. Okay, but I do feel good about this move because next turn we can deliver a check. So, okay, so we want to time travel to this board. So we want to go to here on this board, which means after we do this, it'll be here on this board, which means after we do this, it'll be here on this board. And then after we do this, it'll be here on this board. And then, okay, this is what we're going to do. Chat, I missed mate in one. Oh, well, let's catch up in chat. Okay. My opening. Wait, why is this not the typical opening? I thought this game had one opening. No, it was c5. Can you do e4 on 1c5? Not 1c5, 2c5? All right. The knights, then it's rough, yeah. 111 quota. Yeah, let's go. 1 to 11, yeah, hell yeah. Poison ruining Sarf's return rate. I mean, I'm rooting for you, Poison. I wasn't paying attention to what the prediction is. Apparently the answers were yes or no, but I don't know what the prompt was. Andre, I just believe in Semet. Cheers. Hello, everyone. Hey, Dadik. How's it going? Dadik? Poison says also hi, everyone. Playing the odds. Ah, hell yeah, dude. Barb bet. And you can't even spend channel points. Well, you know, we're working on we're figuring it out. We're figuring out rewards. We'll come up with something fun. What do you mean? Okay, Tutor proving Andre wrong immediately. Andre baiting others into spending channel points to inflate the value of his own, or I guess deflate the channel point economy. Unimpressed? Okay. And then he highlights his own message. Never going to have the most channel points. I can't bet. That's true. Mods can't bet. Well, don't feel so bad. I can't have the most channel points either. Helobot is enough gambling for me. This game compared to last, yeah, this looks like 11 to 1 odds for me. This was before I missed mate in one. Was 1 to 112 before Poison showed up. Jesus. You had mate after 95 and turn after too. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, knight a5 I had mate. Guys, this feels bad. This feels bad. Yeah, knight a5 I had mate because as soon as knight a5 happened, then we had queen, and then if whatever, we have check. After this turn, we had just queen here was, you know, GG. Guys, I messed up. I messed up so bad. It's going to be a yikes from me, dog. That's an interesting strategy. What is the idea? Well, I mean, he wants a defender here, you know, to not get like immediately mated. Because this is mate. Actually, it's not mate. He can time travel as king. If I check here. Not that that's my plan. I'm going for the time travel play. After check here runs away. Probably bishop here is like the play. In which case we have mate again, right? I don't know. There's a lot that's going wrong for our opponent right now. This game is like just such a polar opposite from the last game. Maybe we warmed up. Maybe it actually happened. Okay, so here we have to think, which I hate. Oh no, he blocked our time travel. Ah, he blocked this time travel. Feels bad. Well, now we can go here. No, that has to happen in one turn, right? For as strong as my position is, I've done an awful lot of blundering. Not a good look. Let's do this. And then he either has to open up this diagonal again, which may be mate, or open up this diagonal, which definitely is mate, because we can time travel to here on this board. I could have time traveled. Oh, guys, I missed mate again. I missed mate again. Guys, I missed mate again. This game is unreal, dude. This game is unreal. Okay. So I was all big brain like, oh, I'm going to time travel from this diagonal. But I could have just on this turn played my queen out to here instead of giving this check. And then I would have been able to travel back to that board. Guys, this is like, how many times can Cement miss mate in one game? Okay, let's figure out it. I can't help but laugh at myself. Okay. So if I go here now, it's here on this board. Let's see. Here, it's here on this board, here on this board, and then he blocks just in time. Okay, so we actually have to do this mate. Alternatively, we can give a check here. Let's not overthink this, because if we do this, then we end up on here on this board, and that's definitely mate. Guys, I don't even know what to do. Can you check me here? No. Okay. I missed 5 mates this game. When you see mate in 1, look for 6 more. That is our mantra. He also missed mate in 2. Yeah. Channel points well spent. If you see mate in 1, look for better. That's the class. That might be it. Well, I think it's too big for an emote, but I might get that like cross stitched and like framed instead of my, no, Cindy, I'm sorry. Instead of my print of like the blue mosque or whatever, it'll be if you have mate in 1, look for better. If he misses this mate too, I'm done. Yeah. Oh, dude, I can't handle myself right now. Lexi's so malding. Andre says so textbook so far. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's probably another. I think if we check here, then it's another mate in 1. So if we're really going for the Chad plays, maybe our opponent just thinks I'm BMing. Are you counting the number of missed forced mates? Can't count that high. No. I count 4, but I'm a mathematician, so I might be wrong. I think it might be 5. Counting is notoriously difficult for mathematicians. That's the opposite of true. Counting was my specialty when I did competitive math. Like combinatorics. It really is. Technically, the game is unlikely to be a draw. That's probably true. Was that ever in question? If you count different move orders, it's probably way more. Yeah, it's probably way more. Okay, here we collect our free win. Our 8th free win. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? We can't be too mad about this. Game could have turned out much worse, especially after that first one. Math was my favorite subject besides physics and chemistry. Solid options. Chemistry not so much, but math and physics I respect. Probably goes from forced mate for white to forced mate for black and so on. Morsed fate. There we go. Cemet forgot how to checkmate. I really did. What's with the timers today? Are they broken? Yeah, I know. What's going on here? Hey, Los, how's it going? Thanks for throwing so hard. Okay, we have check, so it's okay. Uh, yeah, we have 2 checks that we can deliver here, and we can blitz them out pretty quick too. And so then there's going to be no way that he can see that board from this board. Cement is a paid actor for Poison. Yeah, something like that. IDK, if he's trying to throw her sandbag, let's just say throwing for content. If that saves me some face. Thumbnail's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Yeah, the most comedic thing is him trying to time travel onto f7 when he can just straight up 2D sack his bishop there. Yeah, I know. Okay, that was a move. Let's just do one of these. Seems straightforward. Seems pretty straightforward. I'm not too worried about that. We've got checks. We've got checks for days. Probably he'll push this pawn in an attempt to get this queen mate to happen, in which case I think we just cover like this, which gives us the check the next turn anyway. We've got this check. We could probably mate him on this board if we wanted, like with this queen, because he's got to cover this up, you know, sometime. But I think our next move is probably knight g5. 96 check, queen h5, queen b5. Yep. No cement. You miss more than 5 mates. I'm sure. What's BMing again? BM is bad manners. But I promise this is earnest. This is completely earnest. Did I turn off my music? I just realized it's been so quiet. Oh, it was the last song on the playlist because it was on shuffle. And then it didn't like loop back around. So thanks. Synthwave. No. This is way too upbeat for us. This is too much. We gotta... There we go. We might actually not fall asleep at the keyboard if we listen to synthwave. Are you sure that was competitive math and not children garden? Kindergarten is what we call it. Andre, please. Yeah, it's kindergarten in English too. I used to do the maths Olympiads. Yeah. Tutor went to IMO. He medaled, I think, which is just so far above my level. I mean, I like dreamt of making it to IMO, but I didn't put in the work, and so I was too bad. But you know, still a good time. Still important to me. Combinatorics is also my specialty. Sarp also does maths Olympiads. I had no idea. Wow. Bunch of math nerds up in this. Math Olympiad takes me way back. It goes without saying, Sarp, we're looking at 5D chess, yeah. I have no idea. I know it's that in Russian, yeah. Can't he just check with queen? Semet's got checks for days after that prime sub earlier. Alex, that prime sub gave me strength. I say reluctantly. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it did the opposite. It's hard to say. Oh my god, and we've got mate on this board with this too. Like, there's just so much. Like, we have 2D mate here if we deliver a check up here. In like 1 or 2 turns, we've got like, you know, check and then mate here. We've always got knight here and then check, and then we do like the time travel. We've got this mate as well, which, you know, checks him in the past and he can't capture because the pawn is pinned. I think on board we probably have maybe 6 or 7 mates that are just like clearly accessible. There's just so much. So I'm not too worried about it. Our opponent is he's in the think tank. He's thinking pretty hard. There we go. Let him make more mistakes. Thanks, Tutor. Appreciate it. But no Semet, no want to mate. We'll get there eventually. There we go. Found the glitch with the clocks. Yeah, that's what it was. We didn't have the... Wow, maybe... I mean, that's a huge meme on the stream, but Maybe it's true. Maybe it really is the music. I actually didn't know what BM stands for. Oh, wow. Okay, this I'm like super confused by. Guys, which one of the mates do we do? I think that we just do this. I think that we just do this. I don't know. I'm really at a loss. Like, I genuinely do not know which mate to choose from. I don't know. It's Sophie's choice out here. 5D Sophie's choice. Okay. We've got check here, and then check, and then mate. We've got check here anyway, and then check here, and then time travel. Actually, we can do the time travel mate now if we want. We've got check here and 2D mate. We've got a time travel mate here as well, like on this board. I think maybe that's what this was trying to prevent, was like a queen travel. We've got check here, and then like here, and then like this is mate. Probably this is the cleanest one. This here, and then this here, and then this here. Just because I've lost to this like 3 times in like recent memory. More, let's see. Can you share the playlist? So the playlist is Stream Beats by Harris Heller. It's a great playlist. It really is. 5D background void music is everything we need. I actually have ambient noise turned off. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I like the noise. I like the sound design of the game, but something about it. Yeah, the top board or black has nothing developed, and then the bottom board, yeah, no pieces developed. I always forget if it's with a D or T. It is with a it's with a D in English. I have a chance of getting into IMO this year, dude. That's super exciting. Congrats. Awesome. Okay, so which mate do we go for, guys? Which one's the most stylish? I think we'll go for this. I think what we'll do is we'll go for time travel mate and mate on this board on the same turn. I think that that's the most stylish way to end the game. Work hard, man. It's worth it. Hell yeah. Okay, so here, I hope that this isn't mate, because this gets us to... Oh, but I want to time travel this turn. Maybe this is mate. Let's see here. So it will go here on this board, here on this board, here on this board. It is mate. All right. Well, we're going to do 2 mates at the same time. Okay. Double mate. Yeah. Here we go, man. This is what's happened. Only move here is for him to time travel, right? Like to one of these 2 places. But in either case, we still have a check. So it's whatever. Oh no, we still have a check. Yeah, so it's all good. I was gonna say, we don't want to just take the queen. We want to end the game with like check on all boards. Or maybe we do take the queen. This is the real dilemma. Which one sends more of a statement? It's hard to say. I think this one. Here we go. This one, because this bishop is defended by this queen down here. Oh no, it's not. There's the pawns in the middle still. I forgot that those were there. Wow. Yeah, because it's this one isn't opened up yet on this board. It gets opened up here. Okay. Hey, GG. Despite my best efforts, I actually won this game. Missing like 20 mates. I mean, I don't know how many. This has got to be a record for like on my own stream. Not a great look. I mean, we're very happy to have gone 2-0 because we had to go 2-0 this round so that we have a chance to advance next round. So we did what we had to do. Man, I really have to re-examine my like vision. I mean, like I said, this is like earlier in the morning than I've ever played 5D chess, but no excuses. Let's catch up. You get into good uni so much easier, that's for sure, tutor. It's from the dark side. I did maths Olympiad in school and physics and programming, but never went beyond my city level. I mean, yeah, we expect no different from 5D players, right? There's more mates than Titanic crew. That might be a thumbnail. I'll have to workshop it, but wow, Lexi, that's pretty hilarious and dark. In the end, Samet won't even get a mate if his opponent flags. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I after like 20 forced mates, if we went on time, it would just be, I mean, that would have just been, I guess, poetic justice. Also, Sonoy keeps spelling my name with 2 M's, even though it's the name of the channel, isn't it? Samet the Turk. It's right there. But I mean, not a big deal. I just found it funny. I mostly got into Olympiads because it was a way to skip school. Nice. I need black to make some super galaxy brain move if I want to win this bet. Oh, Poison was betting against me. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, Poison. Them's the breaks, you know? I mean, after last game, honestly, I would have probably bet against me as well. So, yeah, maybe not the worst. Maybe not the worst call there. But, you know. I need black to make some super galaxy. Yeah. Samet relearning how to fry some liver. Dude, I fried liver is my go-to opening in 2D. It's actually really bad. When you have so many options to mate, imagine actually seeing your mates. I literally cannot. It is beyond me. Counting the number of mates, lol. Wait, unless that's a COVID joke, tutor. Imagine actually seeing your mates. That's pretty funny. Counting the number of mates. Me and the mates looking for mates. Yeah. I even did German one time and I actually got a decent place in my city. And I have no idea how. I was 10 times worse in German than in English and 10 times worse in English than I am now. You have German Olympiads? Is that a thing? That's interesting. The VOD will have such a clickbait title. Maybe. Yeah, like I missed 20 mates in a row. We could do something like that. I'll think about it. Oh, German Olympiad, right? Hello, YouTube. Sarp says hello, YouTube. I mean, pretty much every game that I play on the stream goes to YouTube, so, you know. Gotta go for a few minutes. In a few minutes? Okay. Samet, you're supposed to miss the mate. Sorry to disappoint. OMG, so is it kindergarten? Yes. It is literally that. Oh, no, you spelled it with a D. Sorry, it's the first... It's kinder with a D, and then gar... 10 with a T, or just Google it. Time for another blunder. Sorry to disappoint. You have forced win by flag. English, bruh. Yeah, it's from German, but in English it's with a D. We figured out how to spell collectively. Between us, we figured out how to spell kindergarten in the chat. We actually call sandwiches Beta-Polt in Russia. Like, that's the word in Russian for sandwiches? Butterbrot? Isn't sandwich in German like belegtes Brote? Am I wrong about that? Sorry for my accent. Germs. I know we have like 75% German in the chat. It's really easy to Google for vocabulary. Wait, Samet won? Against his best efforts. Yeah, we got there, man. I thought he couldn't find any checkmates. Thanks. Great turnaround, Samet. Yeah. Yeah, we really pulled it out of our ass at the very end there. I need to win against you. Yeah, I think next week to determine who wins the league against Sarp. I think I need to beat Sarp 2-0. I think if we go 1-1, Sarp wins actually. Which Well done, man. Congrats. You've been smashing it this league. Absolutely amazing play. The game looks so hard, so bad for you. Here's your money. Brothers, way more mates than Titanic crew. Sam met the Turk. Thanks. I said more missed mates. He messed up my joke. Oh, I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry about that. I mean, that was the, I understood the implication. This game looks like an upside down ship. If that would be useful for thumbnail. Okay. Wow. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. We used to have Turkish Olympiads. We called them UTT. Interesting. The what? You can say that. Some just say sandwich. Belek is not sandwich. Sandwich implies 2 pieces of bread. Actually, I spoke with some of my linguist kind of friends, and there were English Olympiads, and you have to compete against people who moved from English-speaking countries. It's really weird. Interesting. Okay. We're saying sentences about eating sandwiches in German. It's too early in the morning for me to attempt to say or reply to these. My only loss in the league is my opponent's only win. Wow. Oh yeah, you lost to the opponent that we just played, I think, right? Yeah, wait, so that means that even if we had tied, which we can't, because I drew 2 of my matches, or I went 1-1, you only went 1-1 for one of your matches. But if we had tied, then you'd have me beat in SB as well, in Sonnabone Burger. Because you beat higher level players. Yeah, so again, Sarp's really killing it, man. We're gonna have to see what happens next week, or maybe this Saturday. We'll have to schedule, but it's gonna be the battle. Well, it really worked out interestingly. Yeah, it's the battle for who gets out of the group, out of the league, who promotes. Lexi speaking like my German teacher, exactly the same sentence structure. Okay, any bread with anything else is what the Russian sandwich word means. Okay, we're finally caught up to chat. Let's rep our win. Rep win y. There we go. Win confirmed. We're up to 1631. Awesome. GG, man. Let's see. I blundered horribly at turn 6. Average is following. Thank you, Average. Didn't realize that you weren't before. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. Okay, our opponent says turn 9. He should have played h6. If he had played h6 on turn 9, like in lieu of opening up the king diagonal, yeah. Okay. There's a lot that could have happened differently. Yeah. Opening up the king diagonal was pretty rough, but can happen to anybody. Wow. The game of missed mates. A tale of missed mates. What a game. What a game. Wow. Average, you missed the greatest game of Samet's life. Okay. Okay, calm down. He managed to miss more mates than we can count. Average, I missed mate like that. I counted maybe like 12 times or something. I don't know. Well, okay. Really, there were like 5 or 6 turns where I missed like immediate forcing mate. And probably I missed a bunch after that. And then there were like 20 different mates that we could have done at the very end. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to pick. It was quite a game. Now, if you want to watch last game, that was a real struggle where we actually just pulled it out at the last second, We had no business winning that game after we opened so slowly and so clumsily. Don't get me started on what is a sandwich and what isn't. Sandwich implies two pieces of bread. This is an argument for the ages, isn't it? Tutor asks Lexi, am I a sandwich? Are we talking about Russian sandwiches? You need two pieces of bread. The sandwich alignment chart. Lexi has contributed to the chat famously. The cube rule, I think, is... I subscribe to the cube rule. If people aren't aware, I don't really know what I'm doing with myself on stream. So let's pull up the sandwich alignment chart and just examine it together. Since I have to go to like work and school. This is like the start of my day. Well, it's like almost noon, but I've got a meeting. I've got to do work in the lab. I've got to put some stuff together to teach some high school kids, the after school program I teach. So I have a lot to do. But you know, why not just hang out here a little bit longer together? Okay, sandwich alignment chart. For the uninitiated, there is structure and ingredient. So contents versus shape. And you've got like sensibility and then like rigor, and then like insanity, like anarchy basically. So this is where we're at. I mean, obviously BLT is a sandwich, right? So all of these guys are traditional sandwich elements. This is like, okay, you could consider these things maybe like, at least they're savory, but then this is just like, what the fuck are you calling a sandwich? Structure rebel. Yeah. So the two slices of bread camp would be here. Obviously anything in between, these are kind of all, according to the cube rule, these are all the same form of sandwich. And then, if a burrito or a Pop-Tart is a sandwich, that's just, could also put a pita here, maybe a calzone. Why did the music stop again? What's going on with our music today? Oh, it like, it shuffled to the last song in the playlist again. That's crazy. I do own at least two pieces of bread, claims Tutor. Wow. Some people have everything. Calm down here with the humble brag. We also loaned sandwich words. Am I going for some casual quantum research after this? I am. It's true. After learning about sandwich research, I already knew about this. Semet structure rebel confirmed. I think that what I call a sandwich, I subscribe to the cube rule. Let's go. Oh, Sarp has kindly linked the cube rule here in chat. If anyone hasn't seen this, all right. The classic question is, are hot dogs sandwiches, right? Apparently New Yorkers, well, I think New Yorkers disagree in general, but according to law, for tax purposes, hot dogs are sandwiches. And I mean, the internet took it too far. Pop-Tarts are kind of ravioli, like, come on. But let's get to the real, here we go. This guy, he's got his references on point, on lock. Okay, so here's the cube rule. Okay. Identifying dishes based on starch location. So there's a cube, and then depending on how many and which of the faces of the cube are the starch, that puts it in a class, It's like we're doing, it's really not like we're doing, I was going to say it's like group theory, but I mean, I don't get like the symmetries that would result in, so it's not really group theory. Like, I've heard a story where Apple had to make their music shuffling less random so it appears more random. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. What if it has two start sides that are adjacent? I can't really think of what that would be. I can't think of what that would be. I think that for all intents and purposes, I think that would probably be a taco. Like, if we're talking physically, because a hot dog is just, you have the bun and it's just like cut into two, or like a submarine sandwich. And And I mean, technically, you know, you could consider that like just two sides of the cube, but you know, in practice, because, you know, 3 dimensions, it sort of wraps up, and so you kind of get bread on 3 sides, even though it's like 5D chess, how it's like 5D chess, but technically 4D chess or whatever. One of the sides of the taco is virtual in that situation. It's got length 0. I guess that doesn't make it a cube, but whatever. Yeah, so toast, sandwich, I think is clear, you know. Taco, also submarine sandwich, also depends on what kind, but could be considered a pita as well. Sushi is just like wrapped all around. Soup / salad with a bread bowl. Calzone here. And then there are examples. 2 non-start sides that are adjacent. Loads really quickly and just waits. Wouldn't be isomorphic to taco. They're all isomorphic or topologically equivalent, Andre. They're not all isomorphic. Well, okay, so isomorphism is different. What you're trying to say is homeomorphic. And this guy has genus 1. So actually, topologically, sushi is not homeomorphic to the rest of them, but everything else is homeomorphic. With the argument that maybe calzone isn't, because if it's like a shell, you know, then it's not like an open plane, then it's like a closed surface, you know, in 3D. So, I mean, if you really want to argue, then we have like 3 homeomorphism classes. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 4 and 6 are on their own. I don't know, just dropping smart words. What about only 3 faces adjacent to a vertex? Again, what would that be? What food would that be? I think that would, in almost every situation, probably in practice, be considered one of these situations, where it's like all like kind of like a pita or something. Yeah, if you have like 3 faces, I mean, in practice, 2 of those faces are going to be pretty much useless unless it's tilted in a way where all 3 of those faces are holding up all of the ingredients there. So I think that would be like effectively the soup salad with bread bowl. Sandwich is not homeomorphic to the others. Okay, sandwich technically not homeomorphic to the others. You're right. So our homeomorphism classes are actually like 1, 3, and 5. 2 is not homeomorphic to the others. You're absolutely correct. And then 4 and 6, because they're, you know, it's like 2 of the thing, so the group it's different, it's separated. Yeah, toast taco and soup salad are the same. Yeah, so the really important things are connected parts and whether they create a circle around the square. Yeah. Would that make scoop chips and salsa a salad bowl? Well, yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair because, you know, like thematically as well as like, you know, topologically, the point of it is to like hold an amount of something that would otherwise like spill over. So I think that like calling that like a super salad with a bread bowl, I think that's fair. Is cereal soup? It is according to cube rule. Actually, okay, we'll get there. All right, so toast is pretty obvious. Popular examples of toast. This is just a slice of pumpkin pie. Is Pringles toast? Pringles is definitely toast. What category are surfaces with negative curvature like Pringles? Yeah, I think Pringles is definitely toast, right? Just because it's like monolayer starch, you know, and they're not like, there isn't like another location with which you can compare the starch itself to. So I think that probably I would definitely call that toast for sure. How much curvature turns toast into soup? Yeah, I think that there's like a relativism thing that goes on because a few of them are like homeomorphic, right? So I think that there's like a relativism argument that comes into play, where if it's just bread that's like curved a decent amount, but there's nothing in it, probably I'd still consider that toast. You know what I mean? Like an empty bread bowl, I might consider toast. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Yeah, 4 classes. Yeah. Oh, the sandwich debate. This is a lecture on the cube rule, actually. This reminds me of what I'm studying about in machine learning. What makes it appealing, and how it makes appalling generalizations. Yeah. Did I start all of this? I'm proud. Andre, this is your creation. Could pumpkin pie slice be put into the soup salad bowl category? Lawnmower, I don't think so. I think that a full pie uncut is a soup or salad. I think that a single slice of pumpkin pie is toast. This comes close to the idea that earlier people were saying about, if you have like 2 adjacent sides, like 2 adjacent faces, what would that be? And I was like, well, probably that's always going to be a taco. But in this case, I think that it's fair to say that this is toast. Yeah. My life is not complete. What about a bagel where the 2 start surfaces are toruses and not planes? In that situation, first of all, I really appreciate what Average is doing here. More power to him. These are the questions that we need to answer. This is the true meaningful discourse. I think that in that case, if it's a bagel that's filled, I think I think you have to look at like locally. I mean, I know that a lot of these are based on like global, like symmetries or whatever, but I think that like, because locally it's effectively like, it's like a sandwich that's like been extruded around a circle, right? So I think that bagel would still be a sandwich. And then if it's open faced, I think it's like a piece of toast that's been like extruded, in such a way that I think it would be toast. Because again, it's relative starch location. So like if it was a bagel, but you only filled the whole of the bagel, I think it would be sushi. But if you place like cream cheese on the top of the bagel, I think that would be toast. And if you like have the 2 bagel halves and then the middle is cream cheese, I think that's definitely a sandwich for sure. Yeah. It's only a sushi if you leave the bagel whole and stick something through the middle. Yeah, it's a sushi if you well, you could cut the bagel slice and then put something in the hole as well. But what's important is that the starch in that situation is surrounding the filling like radially. All right, sandwich. Popular examples. This is a toast sandwich. Very good. Victoria sponge cake. Now we're thinking outside of the box. Non-folded quesadilla. Non-folded is crucial, of course, because if it's folded, then it becomes, well, it depends, probably a taco. But here it's just like 2 tortilla layers and then it's sliced. So this is a sandwich. What if the food is 5D? I'll need specific examples if you want us to work through this. You'll need to upload it to YouTube as a separate video. I think probably I won't upload this to YouTube, just because it's been done before. It's nothing special. We're just having fun, killing time. Tesseract rule. That'd be 4D. Okay, taco. Yeah, hot dogs are definitely tacos. Slice of pie is a taco on its side. Now this is a pie with a top crust as opposed to an open-faced pie like a pumpkin pie. And so I think this really gets to the heart of what the distinction is here. Because like the relativism argument, because like in what way is this not, you could maybe consider this to be like a taco, if you were naive. But no, I think in comparison to the pie slice with the top crust, I think it's obvious that this is a taco and the other one is a toast. Yeah. Imagine classifying food in higher dimensions. Dude, combinatorially, that just gets untenable, right? That's just an absolute nightmare. Although you probably have a lot more degenerate like options that don't really mean very much in higher dimensions, so you can throw more of the cases away. Sushi. Falafel wraps, definitely sushi. Pigs in a blanket, clearly sushi. And then enchiladas. Clear. Semet's thesis and hypercube rule. Well, I do have a paper about a graph theory paper about n-dimensional hypercubes, but unfortunately I wasn't able to fit, like shoehorn in any like culinary argumentative analogies. Couldn't make it happen. Hindsight's 2020, man. Next time I publish a graph theory paper about hypercubes, I'll definitely try and squeeze something in, for the fans. Isn't Hypercube that horror movie? Is it? Is Hypercube a horror movie? I don't know. If it is, I haven't seen it. I don't recall. Quiche. Okay, this is the alternative to the bread bowl interpretation. Who eats salad in a bread bowl anyway? I actually don't think I've ever had soup in a bread bowl. Yeah, that's a pretty kind of, bougie thing, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's my interpretation. So quiche. Okay, soup in a bread bowl, obviously. Falafel pita, I would agree. This is more of a quiche than a taco because the sides are sealed. There's only one direction where you can rotate it where shit falls out. So definitely falafel pita is a quiche. And then cheesecake obviously is surrounded, I mean, cheesecake is pretty liquid anyway until like you bake it and you let it set. So Cube 3, I think, was subtitled Hypercube. Oh, okay. One of the Cube movies. Of course it was. Good stuff. Quiche bonus round. I'm glad that we can finally classify deep dish pizza as a quiche, which is certainly not a pizza. I think that pizza is toast. I think it's fair to call pizza toast. I think that deep dish is definitely more of a quiche anyway. Some people have called it a casserole in the past. Yeah, that's my take on the issue. But I mean, okay, if it's a single slice, I guess it goes back to being toast. So salad in a bread bowl, again, this is just absolute nonsense. Like, who in their right mind actually does this? I like how they added two different types of, oh no, there isn't no pie here. Okay. Well, other open pies would also suffice here. What about deviled eggs? No starch, but they do have a food containment system. I think that the starch is crucial. The starch is crucial to this whole exercise. I think that it not being a starch really, but okay, let's say, like, for the sake of argument, I think that deviled eggs, it's an interesting one because it could be a toast. I think it's probably a toast because, well, okay, deviled eggs are pretty sticky, but like there are directions where you can rotate it where like the projection that isn't like greater than 80 degrees from when it's right side up, where the projection onto the horizontal axis below it contains egg. You know what I mean? Like, if it was just deviled eggs where they're only full up to like where the divot is in the egg, then that would be like a salad or a bread bowl or a quiche. But I think because for the most part, deviled eggs have like the dollop on top, that makes it so that if you turn it sideways, then ostensibly it is possible for the yolk part to fall out of the egg. I think that makes it toast. Not that it's a starch, but just for, as a hypothetical exercise here. There's a starchless category at the end. Oh shit, okay, we got to get there. I think one should be called biscuits, not toast. Why? Was it because you're British? Maybe, right? It's because Sarp's got the British English influence. But biscuits mean something different to you than they do to me. So toast is universal. Everyone knows toast. Half an egg filled with bread. Half an egg filled with bread is toast. Yes. Yeah. Probably. Oh, it's interesting. What if you have a starch location that's not the primary vehicle for what you know what I mean? Like if you have like, I can't really think of an example right now, but yeah, like if you had a deviled egg where in the deviled, the yolk bit, you know, you had a bunch of, I don't know, you had like rice or something weird. I don't even know what that would imply. Or maybe like, I don't know. I struggle to think, but what if there's like the starch is kind of like flat, but it's on top of a non-starch object? That's not any of the categories. I guess that's freeform. Okay, calzone. Calzone is going to be something that's totally closed. A whole pie that's got a crust on top, for sure. You mean starch in the middle? Unless it's fully enclosed by non-starch, it's still toast. That's fair. But what if it is fully enclosed by non-starch? Again, I can't really think of an example. What about like sarma or dolma in Turkish? So like stuffed grape leaves. There's like a rice, you know, meat spice concoction in the middle, but it's like usually grape leaves, sometimes collard greens or something else, cabbage sometimes. But it's surrounded by like grape leaves. So the starch is in the middle. What do we call that? Wouldn't sushi with nori be the same then? You're right. Like if the rice is in the middle and then it's surrounded by stuff. Well, but then it's not. You're right. If there isn't rice on the outside of the roll, if it's like just if it's just nori. Very complicated. Wow, I didn't know that there were these levels to get into. Bonus round, yeah, dumplings. Unbitten Uncrustables, yeah, before you bite the Uncrustable, it's definitely a calzone. Once you bite it, it's definitely a quiche, for sure. Additional cube rulings. Okay, so layers give us cake. This is like bonus round. Layers give us cake. Lasagna. Now, flapjacks, I'm not so sure about, because if you're making flapjacks, right, there isn't anything in the middle, right? So it's really just like big stack of toast. I don't know that I would call that cake, because here there's got to be something in the middle, right? There's got to be layers. Big Mac makes sense. Lasagna makes sense. Flapjacks, not so much. Okay, so salad, just salad. I guess is just starch that's like shapeless. Or just no starch. Spaghetti is a real clusterfuck, isn't it? Soup is a wet salad, famously. Very good. Wait, hold up. All right. Go back to the spaghetti. This is a clusterfuck, isn't it? Yeah. I think the point is that there's no rigidity to the form. There's a formless mix of starch and non-starch. That must be what a salad is, I guess. What chocolate bars must be toast? There's no starch, Andre. There's no starch. Zero starch. That's the issue. If there's zero starch, it's definitely salad. It's gotta be. Chocolate with biscuits inside. No, there's chocolate with biscuits inside, fam. What do we do about that? It's like a reverse quiche. Or a reverse calzone, I guess. Like a pizza, but you roll it the other way around, then, you know. So either A, fully non-starch, B, fully starch, which sunglass emoji, that's really funny actually. Or C, formless mix. This is a pretty catch-all. You know, they kind of got lazy. They threw everything else back into this, I think. If mashed potatoes were flat enough, would it be toast? Oh no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I don't think that flat mashed potatoes or thin mashed potatoes would be toast. I think that I think that some amount of structural integrity is implied, like, because there's like, it's about like the content, it's about the connectedness of the space, going back to the topological perspective, right? Like in this case, I consider mashed potatoes to be like I don't think that mashed potatoes are a compact space, whereas toast is a compact space. You know, like you can remove any bit of this, you know what I mean? And it would just come apart from the rest. I think that you have to go back to the topological roots of the discussion to really make that determination. Shiv's here. Hey, Shiv's hopped on the stream. How's it going, man? What's up? You just missed an early morning tournament game. That's why I'm streaming right now. I really need to leave and go to work, but we just got into the cube roll discussion. So mashed potatoes confuse me. If mashed potatoes were flat enough, would it be toast? Yeah, I think the answer is no. The problem I have with the name toast is that toasts are sandwiches usually. Okay, must be a very like UK America thing. Toast here is a slice of bread that has undergone the Maillard reaction to some degree, onto which optionally things have been spread. 3O is now following. Thanks so much for the support. Thanks a lot, 3O. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying this. Sorry, it's false advertising. We're you know, the 5D is not happening at the moment, but we've got bigger fish to fry here. Mashed potatoes spread on a slice of baked potato. That's a toast. No, that's a toast for sure. That's a toast. But not because of the mashed potatoes, because of the baked potato. Because there's some structural, you know, it's closer to being like topologically compact. That's what I'm saying. There'd be a full entity of starch, if it at all. Unless they really want to push the formless aspect. Yeah, if chocolate were toast, then it would change its state depending on the temperature. I agree that would be cool, but chocolate's not a starch, my dude. Starch is mandatory for it to not be salad. Famously. I've dropped into a crazy discussion. Dave's here. Wow, Babu and Shiv are both here, and they got here at the same time. That's weird. Were you guys like hanging out and then you popped in together? There is a full starch category too. No. Oh, maybe. We haven't gotten there yet. The only structural difference between a loaf of bread and mashed potatoes is integrity. Yes. But I think that's important. I think that's important. You know, because what if you had spaghetti and meatballs, but the spaghetti, you know, and there was no mixage happening yet, and no sauce, which I know is weird to think about, but and you just had a plate of spaghetti and then you placed meatballs on top. I think that that's not toast. I think that because it's not like a compact topological space, I think that it's a salad. And some math people in the chat, you know, correct me if compact isn't the right word. I think I meant compact. I don't know. Maybe I mean like Kolmogorov or like, you know, T4 or something. I don't know. There are sandwiches that are tacos in some places in Turkey. There are sandwiches that are tacos. Yeah, oh, because of the way that you hold it. No, that's a taco. That's the same as like a submarine sandwich is a taco. Like Sarp, the Turkish sandwiches that Sarp is referring to are definitely similar to like a hot dog submarine sandwich situation. You hold them upright, but you hold a taco up or a hot dog upright, and a hot dog is definitely a taco, for sure. So I think that those Turkish, you know, like if you get like, you know, whatever, like just done out off the street, and it's not in a pita, it's just like the usual, like, you know, bakery bread, and then like you slice down the middle and then you fill it. That's definitely a taco, you know. Or if you get like kokoreç, or, you know, basically most Turkish street food, I think would be a taco, for sure, hands down. I think spaghetti. Yeah, the spaghetti really vexed me. What's the genus of a plate of spaghetti? What are French fries? French fries are French fries. Now you got me thinking. French fries, I think, could either be, so poutine here they've put as salad, because it's formless. It depends on how micro a level you're getting into. I think because if it's a collective of things, I think that weights it towards salad. Like I think that, like, if rice is salad, then is rice salad? If just plain rice is salad, then I think that French fries are probably salad. I don't know if I agree with the potatoes and the spaghetti and salad. It's a tough call. I could see an argument being made either way. I think with spaghetti, it depends on detailization. What are you trying to say, Andre? Is convexity significant? It certainly is. Yeah, because it gets, I think you missed this part of the discussion, Shiv, but there's definitely a difference between like taco and toast. Like here you've got pumpkin pie and it's like slightly convex, but this is still toast. Let's be real. Then you've got a slice of pie, which is more convex. It's because of the crust on top. That's definitely a taco. And quiche is like full convexity, like a cheesecake or like a key lime pie. So I think that convexity certainly matters. So it's not just like topological homeomorphism. Like there's more to it than that, for sure. What on earth is a calzone? French fries are solids of starch. Okay, so a calzone is, I guess it's an American thing. It's like, imagine like a pizza type thing where with those ingredients where it's like bread and then like cheese and tomato sauce and stuff and other toppings, but it's like wrapped up into a vessel. So imagine like a closed body, like a hollow layer of bread, and then inside is what you would put on top of a pizza. It's like a closed up pizza. That's a calzone. Salad category is busted. It really is. Poison is really preaching to the choir here. Salad category is busted. They crossed the line with the poutine. I agree. I'm not so happy about the poutine. I can see spaghetti and poutine being the same. I think so. I think that's fair. I mean, we're kind of playing it fast and loose here, but I think that there are similarities there. I suppose they just look at it in terms of structuralism, or there being no defined sides of starch. I think it's structuralism and also function. I think is probably part of it. I mean, the structuralism aspect I kind of understand, because the mashed potatoes, again, like I really agree that mashed potatoes shouldn't be toast, even if it's spread really thin. For the aforementioned topological, I think that connectedness matters. I think that connectedness definitely matters. I mean, you might be saying, okay, well then fries are like, sort of sub-connected. They're collections of connected bits. But, mashed potatoes are just like sub-granular. They're basically like, they're fluid. So I don't think that you could consider them toast. Imagine browsing Twitch for food discussion, expecting just chatting, and then seeing this game category. Yeah. I misread. Oh, you asked if Earth is a calzone. That's really funny. Oh, yeah. Instead of what on Earth is a calzone, what Andre actually asked is, wait, is Earth a calzone? And I think that that's definitely false. Let's ground the discussion here a little bit, Andre. Let's not get carried away. I mean, it's not, where's the starch on Earth? Like it doesn't make sense. French fries are solids of starch, so are they loaves? So Poison asked. I don't think you could call them a loaf, but again, yeah, it goes back to like if it was like a basket of toast versus French fries, is a basket of toast a salad? I guess maybe it's a toast salad, because you have to look at sort of like the macro structure, right? Yeah, the same way that like in the deviled egg analogy, like, yeah, there's a bit of the deviled egg where the egg is in a starch, but like structurally speaking, there's like a bit of it that's like exactly like a bowl, but then on like a macro level, like if you tilt it, then like the deviled egg will like fall off. Well, usually not because of the consistency, but so I think that probably like a large basket of toast is a salad. which might be controversial, I know, but I think for consistency here, we really gotta be careful. Yeah, no starch on. Well, there's starch around Earth. Horribly misspelled detailization. Toast requires a non-starch element. Toast requires a non-starch element. What about toast? What about like a slice of bread that has been toasted? Like the most basic possible definition of toast. Earth is a salad, I think. What about a knish? A knish is a calzone, isn't it? I have to remind myself what a knish is. No, is a knish like breaded and fried? Because if it is, it's still a calzone. I just don't like this. Formless is the same as starchless. I think it yeah. I mean, I guess it's about the form of the starch, and if there isn't starch, then, then the starch doesn't have form. But I share your qualms. Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe from like a math background, I'm slightly less upset about a category being slightly like less useful or more encompassing, as long as like the logic system is like consistent. But I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from. I'm apprehensive as well. Earth has a crust and mantle inside. That it does. But in a way, it's a soup. Listen, if it was like, what's that movie? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, or that book, I guess. If like the surface of the Earth was made of like, rolling hills of like lasagna noodles or like, bread or whatever, then I'm with you. Even if it's filled with like, molten like iron and shit, I think that you could still probably, because of the starch location, call it a calzone, but I just don't. And I mean, yeah, it opens up in places where there are like volcanoes, so it's not fully closed, but I mean, nothing's fully closed, right? There are like, there are like solid paths for like air to penetrate, most of these like fully enclosed things. So you kind of gotta have a little bit of give here. Soup is a salad, that's for sure. What would be a calzone filled with starch? I'd say a potato should be the name. What do you mean a calzone filled with starch? What would you fill a calzone with if it's starch? If it's starch mixed with other stuff inside, I think it's still a calzone. If you're saying like just to fuck with people, if someone baked a slice of bread or a loaf of bread that was hollow, and on the inside there was a loaf of bread that was completely separate, now you just have to ask, like, has man gone too far? Like you spent so long thinking about whether or not you could, you didn't stop to ask whether or not you should. That's a brain buster. It's a real brain buster. I need to look up knishes though. Let's look up knishes. Knish. Oh, okay, yeah. So knishes are definitely calzones. Oh yeah, knishes are filled with well, it depends. Sometimes I think a lot of the time they're filled with meat. But they can be filled with like a potato type thing, like a potato knish. Yeah, like a vegan knish. What the fuck is a potato knish? That's like a calzone filled with starch. Oh man. Wow. This is fucking with me. Jeez. Yeah, what if the Earth's crust was starch? Yeah. That would definitely be what did I say? Calzone. That would definitely be a calzone for sure. Really feel like they should have added a loaf category as full starch solids. Yeah. But I think for the most, like, I think a loaf of bread is probably toast. I think that's fair. Toast would be a calzone, right? No. Calm down. I think that toast is definitely toast. Let's not mix our genres here. Then we're getting into the, we're sacrificing like the utility of the system for basically pedantry, which is not a trade that I would ever make. Certainly not lightly. Yeah, no non-starch filling. But it's closer to a calzone than it is to toast, unless you consider air a topping. How is toast closer to a calzone than to toast? Unless you consider air a topping. What about a potato latke? Yes, okay, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, like a potato latke, where it's fried mashed potatoes. Fried mashed potato. Okay, if it's a potato, like latkes to me are they're somewhat analogous to pancakes or like to hash browns, where it's like a solid chunk of thing, where if you pick up one part of it, the rest comes with it. So I think that that's toast. To me, that's toast. For sure. Yeah, I think the connectedness is crucial from like a topological perspective. If I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Or I've said it 1,000 times. If the topological connectedness of your starch is crucial in determining whether it is a salad or a toast. That's just where I fall on the issue. Can someone explain a formal definition of starch to me? Well, poison, just off rip. Yeah, long chain carbohydrates. Totes. Excellent. A singular French fry fits the calzone filled with starch. Yeah, stretching it, but I understand. You're right. I mean, the outside is definitely different than the inside if you're doing it right. So I don't know what the answer is in that situation. I don't know if that's toast or a calzone. Okay. We talked about relative starch location, right? The assumption here, I think, is I feel okay. Well, okay, the assumption here is that this is hollow, right? Whereas this is like a single connected piece. I mean, it's a bit misleading because this is 2-dimensional and this is 3-dimensional. But definitely I think that like if you have a thing that has nothing inside of it, if you have a starch that's filled with starch inside with nothing else inside, I feel fine calling that toast. Do I agree with that? Do I really believe that in my heart of hearts? Are knishes / super pedantically French fries calzones or toast? I'm gonna have to really think about that. Is Stollen sushi? How the fuck is Stollen sushi? Stollen's not sushi. Oh, are you talking about like if you make it traditionally with like the marzipan roll in the middle? In that case, yes, but only if the marzipan pokes out of the two ends. Otherwise, if you have like store-bought Stollen, where it's basically just a loaf with like, fillings inside, like spread, I think that that's definitely toast for sure. There's nothing non-starch, then it is still a loaf. That's probably true. If there's not, but so that I agree with. But then if it's a different kind of starch, I think like it starts to like if we're talking like a dough that's wrapping like a potato filling, where this is like bread and this is like potato. That's where I have issues. I'd say calzone. Yeah, it's definitely a calzone if the marzipan is like the tube of marzipan is like there, but it's like enclosed on all sides. That's a calzone. What about a slice of Stollen? Slice of Stollen, again, if we're talking like the marzipan tube, then I mean that's definitely textbook sushi, where you just have like Stollen and then like in the middle is like a tube of marzipan. If we're talking like store-bought Stollen, where it's, then that's just toast for sure. Are trees sushi or quiches? Where's the starch? What we gotta calm down. All right. Stollen is a word in English. Didn't know that. No, Stollen is just a culinary item in German, and it also exists in this part of the world. And why would we like make up another word for something that's, you know what I mean? Like English is basically German anyway, so yeah, we just take it, Like, croissant is a word in English, right? I mean, we butcher it. It's spelled croissant, but like we don't have a different word for it. You know what I mean? Same with Stollen, and marzipan as well. I think the issue is the assumption that starch is only located on the surface. That's certainly where the subtleties lie. You have to keep a steady hand when you're trying to sort of pinpoint and organize these on a case by case basis. Trees are calzones. Where's the starch? Unless you're talking about like I don't know. I don't consider tree bark a starch, but if tree bark is a starch, then yeah, trees are calzones. I remember seeing video where two guys made the biggest sandwich by putting two pieces on the ground on different sides of the earth. I'll take points for creativity. Why not? Then again, is there always is Earth constantly a sandwich? I'm sure that at any point in time, a slice of bread somewhere at two places in the world is on the ground. Just, statistically speaking, probably. Especially if you think of like, food that gets thrown out or whatever. Earth's probably always a sandwich. 1, take a piece of toast. 2, put into a calzone. Choke. Here we go. Okay, we're going along for the ride. Lawnmower's taking us for a ride. Take a piece of toast, put it into a calzone. Wrap the calzone to make sushi. Take your creation and put it in a taco. Put it all into a bread bowl. Add 2 slices of bread to make a sandwich. You've just created the start singularity. Here's my take on that. Similar to the argument earlier, I think that is definitely a sandwich. I think that you have to look at like the macro level of what's going on. I think that like at surface level, it can be described as a sandwich between which there's others, like 2 pieces of bread between which there's other stuff. That's a sandwich to me, even though, you've gone out of your way to create this hilarious start singularity, which I am entertained by, but I will also submit is certainly a sandwich in my book. Someone keeping track of the equations can later substitute for setting further arguments. This is too hard. Can you get back to 5D chess, please? You lost me at cube. I'm loving this discussion. It's a classic linguistics problem. Yeah, now we're in this is Poison's area here. She's really thriving in her this is her dojo. We are but guests in these semantic rhetorical arguments. Donuts are sushis. What's the filling? No, donuts aren't sushi. Calm down. Donuts are toast unless there's a filling, for the same reason that bagels are toast. Plain and simple. Donuts are sushis if you have a donut and then in the middle of the donut, like in the donut hole, there is a filling. That's a sushi. Otherwise, it's toast. If the donut has a filling, like it's a jelly donut, like where, like a like where you've got like the fully enclosed and then you've put the filling inside the donut, that's a calzone. I think that's pretty clear. Just uploaded game 2, but I see this is a bad time. Yeah, get out of here, Lexi. No, but I will check that out. There are more prevalent discussions to be had. Andre, can something be in the superposition of 2 foods? Questionable. Trees do have starch. Like croissant. Why would we make up another word? You're asking me. Lol, pineapple. That's fair. But ananas isn't German, is what I'm saying. Like, for the most part, we're pretty cool with that. Pen, pineapple, apple, pen. Thank you, Andre. Trees are long chain carbohydrates fully enclosing other components to make a calzone. You know what? Poison's convinced me. Trees are a calzone. Even though they're not edible, I'm with you. Ananas gang? Yeah, it's ananas in Turkish. Although in Turkish, we have our word for banana is like, you know how there's like the funny thing where like pineapple is like ananas in literally every language, and then English is just like, you know, pineapple. In Turkish, our word for banana, which is the same for like basically every language ever, is muz, M-U-Z, muz, randomly, and it makes no fucking sense. So I think we got to be careful pointing fingers, Sarp. But we are ananas gang in Turkish. I read hydrocarbon instead of carbohydrate and was so confused. Yeah, interesting. Much more volatile calzone in that situation. That just makes it a sandwich. Oh, Poison and I are just we're right there. You know, we're on the same wavelength. How is this field of study called? Unemployedness. I think it's a calzone. The field of study? That's a bit too meta for me. I did my entire daily workout and we're still talking about starch food classification. Prototype linguistics? There you go. From the expert herself. Ian's here. Dave told me there's a very important discussion going on here, and I'd like to drop in and say that latkes are heterogeneous, and therefore the starch is not confined to particular locations. Latkes... Are latkes heterogeneous? Aren't latkes like hash browns? Okay, let's look up latkes. I can't catch up. I've been waiting. I need to leave. So I've just been waiting for chat to catch up in chat so I can say, okay, great, I'm glad we got here. But I do really need to cut myself off here in a bit. Let's look up latkes. Okay. We looked up latkes. To me, maybe I've got like a naive eye here, but this basically looks like a hash brown, man. Do you know, like, okay, there are some fillings. Oh, we have actually similar things to this in Turkey. Similar foods. It might be a Black Sea coast thing. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, I might get hate for this, but I'm gonna stand by my former decision of calling this toast. I think latkes are toast. I just do. That's how I feel about it. What if you put two slices of bread on the ground right next to each other? Is there enough curvature to call it an earth sandwich? I'm going to say no. And I mean, that's, maybe it's not fun to dispel this, you know, like the academic pedantry with which we're scrutinizing these definitions from like an algebraic topology perspective. But I definitely think that two slices of bread on the ground, a sandwich does not make. My grandfather told me that. You know, and I'm going to take that to the grave. That was with his dying breath as well. It's like, never forget, if you put two pieces of bread on the ground, you do not have an earth sandwich. Very somber memory for me, so thanks for bringing that up, Average. Okay, moving on. Imagine someone finds this extreme object in the future. Donuts have a filling of air? I don't think it counts. Because then, okay, like a slice of bread, which is certainly toast, anything you consider, you know, has, I mean, there are cavities, right? It's porous. And I think that doesn't count. I think that the filling of air doesn't count. The way they found black holes predicted by... Well, that cut off. I can't see the rest of that message. They need to be at least 120 degrees apart to count as a sandwich, otherwise it's toast. I respect that rule of thumb. I think Poison's on a roll. I think she's smashing it. If you zoom out far enough from a sandwich, it's a toast? No, because there are two disconnected. They're like topologically disconnected. The space is separable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I contest this definition. What if you have a filling both inside the donut and in the middle? Ah. In that case, again, I'm going to go for like macro outermost level. I'm going to go with sushi. Like if you have like a round donut that's got like a tube of filling within the ring, but then you put something on the inside, I'm going to call that a sushi. John's here. Shiny Bronzong. How's it going? Pretty sure calzones are dumplings. Calzones are dumplings. No, famously. Come on, dude. Somebody didn't do their homework. John, you got to get with the program. Calzones are dumplings. Calzones are dumplings. For sure. Calzone sushi hybrid. What about 2 slices of toast on a plate with an arch shape of... What about 2 slices of toast on a plate with an arch shape of filling bridging across them? I think the angle is what's important. The angle is what's important. So you're saying like you have an arch of filling and then like you smack 2 slices of bread on. I think it depends on the angle. And I think that my criterion might actually be probably 90 degrees realistically. Because that's where like a 90 degrees between the 2 slices of bread is the point where any further apart and they would no longer be facing each other. Like, let me put it this way. If they were any smaller than 90 degrees, like this is like an inflection point because the normal of one of the slices of bread would intersect the plane of the other slice of bread, whereas any greater than that, and that would never happen. So I think that bread 90 degrees is like, if the arch is small enough that you can get the breads, orthogonal, then that's sandwich. Otherwise it's toast. Those are my two cents on the issue. Ananas is a German word. No, I mean, I know. I know that that's what it is in German. I'm saying originally. Yeah, banana is muz in Turkish. Yeah. They're the same equivalence class. Yeah. Point still stands though, from where it originally came from. Semet's playing the classic duo citizenship whenever it's convenient card. Actually, I have triple citizenship. But yeah, I mean, I take my 3 passports to the bank, man. Not literally. That's dangerous, but yeah, whenever it's convenient. All right, chat, stop for a minute. Kek W. I want to eat so badly and it's all food pictures. What are these? Oh God. Dude. Okay. It depends on how much. So, I mean, this is just like pasta, right? It's all starch, so it's pretty easy. I think that this is whatever spaghetti is, which is probably salad. Or whatever rice is probably. I don't think this is toast. I don't think so. Like the separability of the situation makes it feel like not toast to me. I think that's an easy salad. I think that plain pasta, like bits of pasta, I think that's easy salad. Easy salad. You are entitled to your wrong Latka opinion. Cheers. I also respect your wrong Latka opinion. 2 slices of bread on the ground, a sandwich does not make okay, Yoda? Yeah. Everyone has the right to agree with Semet. They certainly do. What is starch itself? What category does that fall under? The whole argument here is don't try and get wise here. The whole argument is the structure. You can't just say what is starch itself. The whole point is the shape of the starch. It's like a structural classification. So come on, let's get serious. Like how we have more chat now than during the game, so Semet can't catch up. I cannot catch up. Yeah, that's where we have trouble finding a category. Since it's direct conversation. It might appear to be toast, but the truth correspondence of the object doesn't change, just the epistemological perception. That's fair, but my point stands in that situation. it also doesn't appear to be toast. That's where I think that you're overcomplicating the situation here. By Semet's logic, starch would just be a toast, right? What do you mean by starch? Didn't the pumpkin pie also have 90 degrees? No, the pumpkin pie was greater than 90 degrees. Here, the slice of pumpkin pie, that's not 90, man. Yeah, for sure. It's got to be small. Oh, but the connectedness in this situation is actually different. So if it's connected, if the pumpkin pie, like, that's connected. So if it went greater than 90 degrees, like it came toward the middle, I would call that a taco. In the 2 slices of bread or 2 pieces of toast or whatever on the plate with the filling in the middle in the shape of an arch, that was potentially a sandwich because the bread is disconnected. But yeah, this angle is greater than 90 degrees anyway. Ruining Semet's time management 101. Yeah, as if my time management didn't suffer enough in game. We got to do this now. Rice has its own category. Oh yeah, okay. Let's pause on reading chat and actually get to the very end. So we went through salad, muffins, or other blocks of starch are type 1 toast in raw unsliced form. Okay, yeah. Okay, that confirmed that's consistent with what we've been saying. Like, a loaf of bread is toast. A loaf of plain bread is certainly toast. So this, I jive with this. Rice. Oh no, they've opened Pandora's box, haven't they? You're free to interpret the nature of rice however you wish. I think it depends on the dish. I think that in almost every situation, rice is probably salad. I mean, obviously, like in sushi, like with rice and sushi, that makes it like sushi if it's like around the outside. I think that if you have like, beans on rice, there's an argument to be made, maybe that it's toast, or something along those lines. But if it's like rice mixed up with other stuff, I think it's the same as spaghetti, right? No one's going to argue that like if you replace the noodles here with rice grains, that's the same deal. Yeah. Salad. Agreed on the, hold on. Is raw wheat flour a salad? I would argue yes. What do you call those horrid pasta artwork things you did in primary/preschool? Abominations. Now I've sent you a DM. I've got to open up Twitch now. All right, I'll check it later. Or it's on Discord. I'll check it later. Agreed on the greater than or less than 90 degrees toast versus taco distinction, if connected, that is. And then Poison said, nah, that is bullshit. A solid block of starch is not toast. I see. What about 2 unconnected starches less than 90 degrees? 2 unconnected, by less than 90 degrees, do you mean they're more open, or like is it more obtuse or more acute? Because if it's like more obtuse and it's 2 unconnected starches, to me that's probably toast. Even though it's more than one, that's a good question. Because it is more than one. And I do think that a bucket of toast is a salad. Like if you had like many toasts. But I think that with 2, you still call it toast. Maybe 2 individual toasts. At that point, I wouldn't really call it like a single thing. Yeah. Because if you have like 4 slices of toast, that they've all got toppings on top, that's just different instances of toast, right? Yeah, but if it's more acute and there's a thing in the middle, and they're unconnected starches, then that's a sandwich. That's what I'm saying. Solid block of starch is not toast is what Poison thinks. What would you call it then, Poison? So what's a solid block of starch if not toast? Like, do you think that it would be salad maybe? Or quiche? I don't know, it's tough. Like, if not toast, then what? I don't know. Rice by itself has got to be toast, right? I don't know, because mashed potatoes are salad. And I mean, the only difference is like the level of granularity, right? Like The compactness issue stands. Mashed potatoes is mashed potatoes is a salad. I think I skipped Poise's comment earlier that said if that is true, then fries without toppings are rice. Oh, rice has its own category is what Sarp was saying, that rice has its own. Okay. No, but I think that Sarp was just saying that rice is, mentioned on its own on the page, right? And I think that it's dish based. I think that like plain rice is probably a salad because mashed potatoes are a salad. That's what I think. It's like F7 sack stream all over again. It really is. Rice can have a solid structure. It can. That's why I'm saying like rice in general is, it's like really based on the individual dish. So it should be toast. IMO, dude, come on. Like what? Like a bowl of rice? What like bowl of rice are you eating where you can pick up one rice and the rest of the rice comes with it? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you also think that mashed potatoes should be toast? I mean, I think in a situation if it's like compressed into like a, some like rice cake, then you can call that toast. But like on its own, I don't know. What type of food are old sneakers? The canvas / cloth top has to be some sort of carb, but I don't think you could argue it's on the bottom like toast. I think we agreed that in that situation, it's still toast. I think that like starch on the bottom versus starch on the top is still toast if it's like plain, if like the starch is just a layer of starch. I think that that's probably still toast. Take a plate, place 2 slices of toast apart on the plate. Stack filling on the toast until the two piles meet in an arch shape, joining the 2 separate slices of parallel toast. No, that's toast, dude. That's toast. A bucket of toast is a salad. That's how I feel. He's almost caught up. Quick spam messages. Dude, no, that's definitely toast. Because if you have toast, okay, sometimes you're feeling, you're feeling real good about yourself. You're like Saturday morning, you're making a luxurious breakfast as you're wont to do. You make 2 slices of toast, at least I do like French style scramble, and then I stack it up real nice. Put some creme fraiche in there, chop in some fresh chives. Oh, bliss. Anyway, so you got your avocado toast situation going on, and your 2 slices, and oftentimes, because the eggs are, somewhat sort of runny, ish, they'll like overlap, and they'll be like touching. But it's still 2 slices of toast. And I understand what you're trying to say. If you have like 2 slices of toast here, and then you stack up more stuff so that it creates like an arch, I think that that's still 2 toasts where the toppings of the toasts are touching. I stand by my 90-degree rule, man. But it is very creative. Now, what if that is toast? What if you stack up layers of toast, like those like book arches that people do, at like, I don't know, bougie events? I think that's probably still toast. I don't think that's a salad. What the fuck are Maltesers? Oh, that's funny. Maltesers, I believe, are malted milk balls. Or, like we have like Whoppers. They're like a candy. It's like well, okay, you clearly know what Maltesers are. So what you're asking is, Maltesers have starch in the middle. I think it's starch. Seems like starch. And there's chocolate on the outside, which we asked before. I think maybe Lawnmower or Alex. Someone asked what is like chocolate with like a biscuit, or like, a chocolate covered biscuit or something like that. And I think probably we call those toast, man. I think that like the filling of the topping of the toast being all around the toast probably still makes it toast, because we're just talking about like relative starch locations. I think Maltesers are probably toast. No, I would just make loaf as a separate category from toast as starch only solids. I think that is, yeah, you're sort of compromising the, like the compactness of the system for rigor, which I respect immensely. So I think that Poison's interpretation is certainly valid. Solid block of toast is toast for people who think toast is too spicy. Solid block of starch. I see. Yeah. Yeah. What if you had, yeah. Okay. But what if, so in this case, we've called it toast because of the shape, but toast is obviously like bread that's undergone the Maillard reaction. You could maybe argue that it has to be a slice of bread, but then what about like a loaf of bread that's just toasted? You know, like the whole thing, like inside out. I don't know, like, you know, you like slow bake it in the oven, like post bake, you know. Is the image I sent on Lexi's Discord toast? Okay. Image was sent. We have to check. Image was sent. Let's open up my stream or my Discord on the other monitor just in case. Okay, Sarp asks if this is toast for the same reason that averages is not toast. Or sorry, he asks if this is toast. For the same reason that averages example is toast, I think that this is toast. Yeah, I think that this is for sure. Jesus Christ, Andre. Okay, so this is Andre's picture. I think this is still toast. Even though, you know, culinarily you might call it a sandwich, the way that you wouldn't, you know, technically cereal is a soup, but you probably wouldn't call it a soup. I think that, yeah, okay, layman's terms, but for cube rule classification purpose, we're men of science, all right? And women, of course. And so this is definitely, we have to call this toast against our, you know, against our every whims. This is so cursed, dude. No, this is definitely toast. There's no way this is a sandwich. Like the angle between the bread has to be, you know, like I understand what you're saying here, right? Because the angle is like, okay, so you have 90 degrees and then it gets closer and closer and closer. This is so ridiculous. So you know, from 90, you go to 0 like that. But I mean, I think that it's clear that this is 180. Because how would you make this in such a way that they start at 90 degrees and then turn inward from each other? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think that if you have a slice of bread here and a slice of bread here, and then you rotate this inward so that you're definitely like reducing the angle between the two from like a practical perspective, then, I mean, yeah, like I definitely think that this, I mean, okay, do we really have to introduce like a handedness argument? Okay, I think that you have to define a handedness, and then the toast, you have to make your, like, the angular transformations that you're making, the rotations that you generate, have to follow they have to preserve chirality. Okay. What are we doing? Sorry, it's just hearing myself say that last sentence just really... I have work to do. I have a meeting in 12 minutes. I have opinions on this. I could write a paper on this. No, but I think the handedness and the chirality, that's the key. I think it's left as an exercise to the reader. Just my mic just fell over. I'm losing my mind. Let's try and get through this. Single grain of rice is a loaf. That's sticky rice. I think website creator wasn't thinking when they classified mash as rice instead of toast. Salad is something without starch. No. Salad definitely isn't. Like, they're defining, this was also Poison's issue, is that it's kind of willy-nilly. Like, there are definitely starches in the salad example. And, you know, yeah, I think that, like, non-starch, full loaf of starch, and, like, granular amounts of something, like rice or mashed potatoes, I think that realistically you could probably put those into the same, or into different, you could split those up into their individual things. By the logic of this, yeah, they've called amorphous starches salads. Oh my god, did Void just get here? What are we watching? Hi Void, welcome to the stream. Salad category is all over the place. It really is. I think author meant lack of structural integrity. I think the arguments have been largely structural. I mean, based on starch location. Like, again, there's like a structural relativism that you have to employ for a lot of these situations. 60 chess at least. Speedrunning breakfast. I did speedrun breakfast. If it's all toast, then it's a loaf. If there are non-starch elements mixed into the arch, then it becomes a cake. Wow. So then Poison's definition relies on like the thickness of the slice. Because obviously if I have a single piece, like what constitutes a loaf? Because if I have like a loaf of bread and I cut off the ends, then suddenly it is like long toast, right? But then if you keep making slices, by the continuous value theorem, since at some point you have just a slice of toast, which inarguably undisputably is certainly a slice of toast. You can't, by the intermediate value theorem, there has to be some point at which there's a crossover from, toast to loaf. And my question is how you make that distinction. And if you make such a distinction, I think that it becomes really difficult to suddenly be able to say, because, it's like an open set in terms of like connectedness. So like, what is, one like infinitesimal, you have to do like a delta epsilon proof, like real analysis style, I think, to really, I think that's tricky. I think that's tricky. Unless you have like a, reasonable, if it's like if it's greater than a cube, then it's, like a cube is cube rule. Maybe we can institute the cube rule. Where if the toast is like longer by the non-crust dimensions, then, if it's like a tube but extruded, or if it's a cube but extruded, like a rectangular prism that's like longer than a cube, then I think that's probably loaf, and then smaller is toast. We can call that the cube rule. Mobius toast? Oh my god. We haven't even touched on non-Euclidean or non-orientable geometries, guys. What is real projective space toast? Wow. Jeez. From the woman's post of the 5D chess gameplay, I usually don't check out that channel, but sure, I just spread the word of the stream, ATM. Wait, what is this? 5D chess game? Who posted 5D chess gameplay? I don't know. I submitted my toast. Review my toast. We've become a toast review channel. I think it's actually against Twitch TOS to be like not doing a thing for this. Is this sausage? Is this a sandwich? Okay, Sarp. So let's just address this. Not a sandwich. Very clearly the starch location, there's nothing between the two starches. Textbook, not a sandwich. This. Void asked if this is a sausage. The answer is no, but it's definitely a sandwich. Like for sure a sandwich. Okay, C252 asks, does a sandwich need to be path connected? And this is a really good one. I think this is a sandwich. But I think that it is a sandwich. You know what's funny? I think that like our orientation with respect to space, I think that this isn't like an isomorphic determination, or an isotropic determination rather. I think that gravity, in practical terms, really breaks the symmetry spontaneously. I think that it becomes an anisotropic system where you have to like take, basically gravity into account here. I think if this is just if we're seeing this like, if this is our top-down view of a plate, I think it's toast. Do I believe that? I think I do, because, well, it depends on what this thing is. What is the green? Because this must be fluid based on what I'm seeing here. If it's just fluid on a plate that weakly connects two vertically suspended slices of bread that are facing each other but that have something spread on top, that's probably toast. If this is vertical, where this is the ground, that's why I'm saying the orientation matters. This isn't an isotropic system. I think that makes it a sandwich easily. For those interested, you should definitely look up prototype. I thought the screen I just posted was bad, but oh god, have I? If you make gumbo, the brown colors from the flour and the roux undergoing the Maillard reaction is gumbo toast. Gumbo's a salad, dude. Although gumbo, if it coats everything, Gumbo's a salad. I need to leave. I have a meeting that's like a non-trivial important meeting with like heads of like organizations where I represent a large number of workers officially. So I really need to go. We're gonna speed run the rest of this discussion. I really need to leave. Chirality of Toast Kick W. For those interested, look at prototype there. Are playing 60 chess? Always have been. We are one sub trying away from Summit's mental breakdown. I think just a few more, you know, you just got to introduce maybe some like non-abelian geometry, and then you're good. Or non-abelian, you know what I mean. Not gonna go. This stream is the most fun thing I've watched all day. We did it, chat. We fucking did. Maybe this is going on YouTube after all. It's kind of poetic that who brought this up has a poison in their name, you know. I mean, toxic and poison are two different words, but shitpost safe for work. Don't have time because that's a video. Well, it's like a pile of rice. Removing one grain is still a pile, and for this same for the next grain, but at some point it becomes a single grain. Yeah, but that's discrete. Okay, we're not. This is continuous versus discrete. Grains of rice, like that set is, you know, has fixed boundary, right? It's, you know, it's like the space is closed of like an individual, topologically of an individual rice grain. So I don't know if that scans. MCS or MC cheeseburger. This is a sandwich or a McDonald's burger when you open the box. I think that if you open the box and you've got the two different, if you've got like bread and shit on it, well, that's McDonald's for you. But no, I think that it's toast until you close it up. Even though, you know, there's like a ship of Theseus thing going on there that we could really get into actually, where, you know, like what are the... Okay, I need to leave. Oh god, non-isotropicity. What if you take a path integral of an absolute value of the filling? I mean, sounds clever, but means nothing unless you give me an example. You'll be thinking about toast the whole meeting. You're not even wrong. There's no world in which I don't just think about toast for the next. Show them non-isotropic sandwich, ask them for their opinions. So if twist 45 degrees left and then 45 degrees right, it still adds up to 90 degrees. We're talking net, okay? This is like least action path. The sandwich classification operates on a least action principle. Okay, I don't have time to get into that. I'd show you the path integrals, the Feynman formulation, but no. If you open the box, if it's two slices of bread with sauce on it and the filling's spreading all over the place, McDonald's burgers are not isotropic. Okay, we made it to the bottom of chat. I need to leave like yesterday. Like I'm gonna be late for this really important meeting. Because I need to go to the bathroom really badly before the meeting. Okay, I'll tell them I had technical difficulties. I'll maybe make a joke about being stuck in like, you know, non-orientable space, and they'll be like, "Ha, funny," but I'll have been serious. Okay, thank you so much for watching. It was a good game to our opponent. GG. Maybe I'll just tack this onto the league game. What a shit show today's been. Super fun. Thanks everyone for joining. We got a few new follows, got a few new subs. Thanks so much, everybody. I don't know. You can probably expect this discussion on YouTube if there's demand for it. But this is me signing off. Don't have time to raid anybody. So, you know, just go tell people that 5D chess exists. Just go grab your neighbor, your uncle, your cat, scream 5D chess at them, and you'll be doing God's work. All right. That's it for me. But for now, see you guys later. Catch you on the stream on Saturday.